and stay warm with a high of 88. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at the price that makes the whole family happy. And now with the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 all boys and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sunday. Get to Wings and Rings today. And make sure for 8. Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the stories over each Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Achievement Hour on 90%ticketfm.com. Celebrate the start of June in style. Free drinking events in Lincoln. First, this Friday, come down to Beer House's grand opening as they show off their expansion to double the size of the room. The party starts at 3 p.m. with live folk music starting at 7. And Saturday, make plans to head on over to Sideshow Spirits and Cider for the first annual Nebraska Whiskey Carnival. Enjoy local Nebraska distilleries and their spirits, food vendors, and more. The event starts at 2 p.m. Buy your tickets ahead of time at sideshowspirits.com.
Daily Life is now open in minutes. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus drinks and snacks. Those we produce locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Sean Callahan here of Hotline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning. Now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting, talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Gather round. This is the water.
This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Coming at you live in the heart of Lincoln, America.
I say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
On air and online at theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Jake Bakoven and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
It is a great day across Lincoln, Nebraska. Great day across the Big Ten landscape because things just feel right again. Nebraska, Iowa. Nebraska play more specifically. Iowa, who cares about? Nebraska playing on Black Friday on CBS, the prime big time stage.
Mama, we made it.
We're back to a 3-letter network, not named BTN, that most people don't have. It will be NBC. With Nebraska and Iowa. Excuse me, CBS. Sorry, NBC. You're out of this. I thought NBC.
I was like,
we're going to
NBC.
talk to NBC a little bit later.
I was like,
CBS.
damn, what's up, Notre Dame?
Well, you know the NBC is getting a lot of a big part of the new deal along with CBS and Fox, but CBS, which is, I guess, even better, I suppose.
Look, I'll take CBS. I'm with CBS.
Yeah, I don't really have an affiliation one way or the other, but Nebraska.
I don't really care what network it's on as long as it's on. If it's
it
on
matters,
BTN,
though.
if it's on CBS, well, I know it actually matters. Like in the grand scheme of things and the money scheme of things and in number of eyeballs and all that stuff, it matters. But to me, I don't care if it's on ESPN, CBS, NBC, Fox.
How about Peacock?
Spike, Peacock. Well, if it's on Peacock, that's a problem because then I have to get Peacock. As long as it's not like a streaming service that I don't have. If it's on Apple TV, then we have a problem because I'm not getting Apple TV.
So yeah, for Nebraska football, I'll get just about whatever they
put Nebraska football on Disney Plus. I'm watching it.
Yeah, I'll get it there. And I don't know if this is in the weeds of things. Sometimes as like I don't want to say a nerd, but you kind of get, if you're in this profession, maybe you're kind of getting to a little bit of the nerd part of of being a college football fan, or like, I don't know if people care either about TV networks, if that really matters to them much. For
some
me,
people do.
it's been huge. I mean, it's huge. And it's a big deal for this Nebraska-Iowa rivalry specifically because it has been relegated to BTN. And BTN loves it. I mean, it's one of their best broadcast games of the year. But it's not you're not getting national eyeballs on that. You're getting local, obviously Nebraska and Iowa, maybe some other Big Ten fans across the Big Ten footprint, which I suppose is ever expanding. I'm not sure how much, the LA TV market's going to turn into BTN too much.
Oh, they're gonna love it.
They're
They're gonna love the entire.
I'm
They're gonna
not
love all of the
convinced.
replays of old Michigan State games.
I hope they like that Nebraska Missouri 2010 game.
I love how
because-
they always replay like Nebraska, like the other Big Ten schools, like they're actually playing Big Ten teams, but they're like, check out Big Ten highlights or whatever, and it's Nebraska, Colorado from 1997.
Well,
and
let's
it's like,
be honest. There's not a whole lot. What
and it's just like
classic
that's not
3 games since Nebraska joined the Big Ten would you have them play?
the Ohio State game, the biggest comeback in Nebraska history.
Okay, there's a good answer. Maybe not a top 25 game of all time in Nebraska, but still. for Big
it's
Ten,
since then. No, we're talking.
Or
Top,
since
we're
then,
talking
yeah.
since
then.
they've been in the Big Ten.
Yeah. 2012
there's a
Michigan
couple-
State.
There's a couple epic losses.
Well, you don't want to put those on.
So,
You're highlighting Nebraska.
So there's the Iowa game from a couple years. This last year's Iowa game that wouldn't be up there. That's a pretty big one.
the one that took Nebraska from 3 wins to 4 wins,
Yeah,
it's still not a bowl game.
That's pretty big.
That's a big one.
That's
yeah.
pretty big. That's pretty big. That's the first time you beat Iowa in 7 years. So that's pretty big.
If that's how you measure your program, sure.
Look, it's since you've been in the Big Ten. How many? What are the games you would choose, Bach? Since you're gonna criticize every one of my choices. Jeez.
I think you go with the like you said, maybe the 2011 Ohio State.
Uh-huh.
I think you'd go 2012 Michigan State.
What was that? The 9-7 or whatever?
No, it was the comeback win. Jamal Turner in the end zone. 2012 was filled with comeback wins. You could maybe do that.
What was the one against Michigan
A
State with
third one?
Brandon Riley getting pushed out of bounds?
Yeah, you could do that. What's that? 2015. The only problem with that one is again, they improved to 4 wins. I mean, it's an upset.
Look, it's the best game since you've been in the Big Ten.
How does that compare to the Fiesta Bowl from the '95 championship?
Because you were in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're highlighting the Big Ten. You're not Nebraska wasn't in the Big Ten at
So
that time.
USC
They don't have Big Ten logos on their jerseys.
They don't. So USC and UCLA, you're just gonna
You're gonna have to
replay
wait.
Rose Bowls.
You're gonna have to wait. Yeah, Rose
You
Bowls.
can play
That's
Rose
it.
Bowls.
That's
Yeah.
it. Just Rose Bowls when they played Big Ten teams. And it's like they're in the Pac-12, but now they're in the Big Ten.
I don't know,
so.
but I don't know because I don't know if they got TV rights or I know it's a big part of it. But for some reason they played that Nebraska Missouri game from 2010 when Roy Haley rushed for 300 yards.
Mhm.
They've played that for the past 10 years, all off season.
Yep.
It's just kind of strange. It's like
They're just like,
that was
check
a
out
great
Nebraska.
game. We liked it, but we have been in the Big Ten probably long enough to put something else on.
Nope, just this one.
No, this one's great. You
This-
guys like this one, don't
This
you?
is the one.
They're like-
Here you go.
Well, to be fair, they're probably like, well, this one keeps getting rated. We don't know why Nebraska fans keep watching.
They're
this
like, "Ah,
game,
Roy
but for
Haley."
some reason,
Roy Haley Jr.
replaying this game seems to be working.
This is our most watched game of. This was our most watched game of 2020.
Somebody says Nebraska at Michigan. Abdullah's game-winning touchdown. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
2013. Yeah, I like
That'll
that
work.
one. That's not a bad one.
That fits.
Yeah, they're all there.
They're not great.
I mean,
None of these are great choices.
but I mean, if you compare, I don't know which games they choose for Illinois or something, but they're probably in these ballparks.
they choose upset ones,
Yeah.
where they're upsetting somebody crazy. Where I don't know, probably early in the season or maybe later.
Yeah.
I don't think they care about the records at the time, like when they're replaying them. Nobody's looking back and like, yeah, well, this only got them to 4 wins. Like, no, it was a great game. I don't care.
I don't know. In Nebraska history, at least for me, I would particularly
You know what
that
you're gonna
Michigan
do?
State game was fun.
You know what you're gonna do, Bach? In a couple of years, when Nebraska's back on, near the precipice of the mountaintop. I don't know
Few
how
years.
near, but
Yeah.
near.
Climbing.
You're gonna look back at last year's Iowa game, and you're gonna be like, that was it.
That's the turning point.
That was the turning point, and you're gonna want to watch it on BTN
I just
on
am
a
not
random
sure.
Tuesday afternoon.
I do like how much Matt Wolf. You hear him during interviews. He'll reference that Iowa game. He will reference the past couple years. So reference. It's like he made sure he's done a great job. The One of Us shirt, of course. You've probably seen that a lot. They do their acronym there. OOU, and so you got to go and figure out what that means.
For the longest time, it took forever to figure. I was like, "What is OU?"
OU, yeah. Which again is sloganeering, which is what Scott Frost criticized PJ Fleck for doing.
We're back.
But now Nebraska's full on with sloganeering. It's a sloganeering battle when they battle Minnesota in the first game of the season. But I just think he's done a great job, obviously relating to fans, but it's not like phony. It's like he'll reference that Iowa game. He'll reference, learning points from last season. And I just love that. I mean, you've had coaches. We have a lot of turnover here. You've had coaches come in and say, you know what? I didn't want to watch film from last year because I didn't want to get preconceived notions of this player or that player. And to me, I'm thinking, yeah, but don't you want to know your team? Don't you want to know like what these guys have gone through, what they, what. To me, it's a little bit more important than having a clean slate. Mm-hmm. But they put that on film for a reason. Like they've shown that, and so I don't know. That always kind of baffled me. And some coaches have chose to do that.
Just because you're watching the film from last year, and you know this guy was a starter last year, doesn't necessarily mean that you watching the film is going to convince you that he's going to be started right away. It's just going to show you what he was able to do against last year's competition, against competition that you're going to face again this year, albeit, some different bodies here and there. You'll be able to see, is this guy a speed guy? Does he run crisp routes? Does he have good hands? Does this, offensive lineman, is he slow getting out of his stance? Does he have heavy hands? Is he a road grader? Is he better at pass blocking? This quarterback, is he thrown off of his back foot? All this stuff. A corner, is he slow in his back pedal? Does he open his hips to the wrong side? Is he slow off of the? Is he good at pressing the ball? All of those things. That's a way that you can get to know your team. Outside of just practices, you get them in actual game situations and you're able to watch that film. I don't think you watching, 4 games for a corner is going to convince you outside of what you're seeing in practice or outside of already what you think of that player, that they're automatically going to go from, 4th string to starter, or that they're going to go from starter to 4th string. I don't see that happening, but like you said, it's a good way to get to know your team and see what they have.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they've taken that route. In Matt Rule, certainly, it also helps you kind of fit in with Nebraska fans. Feel like you're one of us. Feel like part of, what Nebraska fans have kind of gone through. It's not just all right, we're here and that's different, and it's different. So I like that. Dirty Tony and the boys suggest for BTN's replay Nebraska against Northwestern, Hail Mary from Ron Kellogg. Yeah,
that's a good one.
You'll notice there's a lot of 2011, 2012, 2013, and then seems to drop off from there.
I'm not going to pay attention to the rest of those. Those other ones don't really matter.
No, not too much. Pecan Pie, once the Michigan State game when LP went for over 200.
Technically, you were playing a Big Ten team, but you were not in the Big Ten.
Yeah. And also that game, more to me, I mean, what happened after Michigan State kind of, for a lot of people, they'll think of Tom Osborne just beating up on Nick Saban. Of course, what happened after that game, LP was suspended from the team and all of that, and the controversy that followed. That's kind of what I think of when I think of the Michigan State game. But I mean, it was a good game there. I mean, it wasn't a good game. It was a beatdown.
So it was a good game on one side.
Yeah. Nebraska fans would like that.
Like, I love that game.
What I like more than anything is, just go to YouTube. Sorry, BTN, but YouTube has all of these games.
What?
Or most of them. And you can watch them. And that's what I do instead of waiting on BTN to show me what.
BTN has the rights.
But BTN needs to get the rights. By the way, a few more scheduling announcements. We mentioned, as I absolutely crushed the announcement, Nebraska and Iowa on CBS, not NBC, at 11 a.m. on Black Friday. Again, Black Friday, I've been fighting for years about Nebraska's relevance there. Icor's trying to kind of take it away. It's a tradition to me ever since I've been alive. Nebraska Thanksgiving, like when I think of the holiday Thanksgiving, I think of Black Friday football right afterwards. It's part of the deal. And so I'm glad that Nebraska is back on the spotlight with Iowa, which I think has developed in a good enough rivalry that people are going to want to see it there. There's I think the Egg Bowl, there's a couple other games that might be on Thursday night. That might be on Thanksgiving. There's a couple other, that's rivalry weekend. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple other good games that day, including an NFL game.
The Big Ten's moved a couple games onto that Black Friday. Yeah. Penn State and Michigan State are playing at Ford Field.
Yeah. That's the NBC game.
yeah.
NBC.
The NFL is trying to take over Black Friday like they don't already have games going on that Thursday.
Yeah.
They're just like, you know what, we're gonna do it all weekend.
Just take
This
the
is ours.
weekend.
We're good.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, we'll let you have your Saturday, but then we're coming in strong on Sunday.
Yeah.
So they're doing that. But Nebraska, 11 a.m. was pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a good time slot. It feels right, and once again, it's going to have the eyes of the nation on it.
You get
Not-
to watch Nebraska football and carry that over into NFL football.
That's right. Is that the NFL at 2:30?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that.
Yeah, you
That's
can.
probably maybe another college football game and then NFL.
Yeah, I'll still watch college football that day. Sorry, NFL, you can't take me away from that day. Nebraska at Illinois. We knew this was going to be Friday, October 6th. What we did not know is the exact time. No shocker here. It's not in the middle of the day. You're not going to have to take
What?
a day off. It's going to be at 7:00 on FS1. Again, this is maybe in the weeds for you non-football nerds and non-TV nerds, but CBS better than FS1 as far as viewing, but still a good national TV audience for
FS1
that
pretty
game.
strong.
Pretty strong, and and that's why they moved it to Friday, was to get a national TV audience a good look at this game. And usually, Nebraska, Illinois in the past, sometimes I think they did this in the past, and it was kind of like, I guess people will watch it now. I'm really intrigued by Illinois and what they do. I don't know how much the draw is for Nebraska. I mean, as far as the Nebraska crowd, it's always there. But I'm intrigued by Illinois.
I guess
this
it'd be
year.
depending on how the season is going so far with your first year coach and Matt Rule and his first year taking over at Nebraska. If the season's going well and Illinois is also having a good season, which I feel like a lot of people expect them to, although they're not getting the respect that I probably think they should be
Well,
getting
they have to replace
in the Big Ten West
a lot.
But where was I going with this?
How interesting the game will be.
Yeah, it's good. I feel like it'll be a really interesting game. You'll get a decent amount of eyes on that Friday. Another question that I have, I guess I'll ask you. It's happened in the past, especially between these two teams. Alternate jersey game?
I can see that. We haven't heard much
on
about
a
the
Friday.
alternate jersey front.
I know.
have we?
I'm just saying.
That's usually a home game for Nebraska, though.
They went on the road with alternate jerseys against Northwestern one year.
Hmm.
Because Northwestern wore their the first year they had their Gothic cathedral
Yeah, I remember
jerseys
that.
that they've decided to stick with that I actually kind of like.
Looks
They
good.
weren't as the ones that the first time they wore them, they had the stained glass, not the window, but not the frame, the outer part of it with all the decorations and everything as holding the numbers in. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's too much. And they kind of settled down on that. And I kind of like Northwestern's uniforms.
Yeah.
They're
not
not
the
good,
worst.
but I don't mind them.
If there's one thing about Northwestern as a program you can like, it's maybe their uniforms.
Yeah, there you go.
Not a whole lot else there.
They've got a cool mascot, crazy looking Wildcat.
You think that's a cool? There's a lot of good Wildcat mascots.
I like
don't
him.
think I don't
He
put
looks,
him right
he
up
looks,
there.
he looks crazy.
Yeah, he looks great.
He looks
Chicago's Big Ten team. Don't
He
you
looks,
forget.
he looks like he was in the library until 5 a.m. studying,
That's
doing
the
his
type
work.
of Wildcat you want. A
That's
little wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not wild,
Not wild.
studious.
Yeah. Okay. He's a good study.
But he's been awake for a very long time.
One other weird note, as far as TV times, speaking of Northwestern, is that they are going to battle Rutgers Sunday, September 3rd, 11 a.m. on CBS.
Yep. Just like everyone thought.
Yes.
The first Big Ten game on CBS
Yes.
of the year.
Northwestern.
We're going Northwestern and Rutgers.
and
At Rutgers?
I believe so.
I'm watching that game.
I am watching.
I mean,
that
I'm
game.
going.
Yeah.
I'm going to. 402-464-5685. Will you be tuning in to Northwestern at Rutgers on was it CBS?
CBS 11 a.m. on a Sunday, September 3rd.
Will you be tuning in September 3rd to Northwestern
Yes.
at Rutgers on CBS at 11 a.m. Because I will.
And that's an extension. So that's like Nebraska's gonna be playing on that Thursday. So it's just college. I love opening
Yes,
weekend of college
sign it
football
all day.
It's Sunday. We're not tired. We still want Northwestern Rutgers.
I'm watching it, baby.
I'm into it. I like that. Also, one other.
We have 3 no's already, just right away.
Absolutely.
Craig, Guilt Nerd, and Unnamed Texter. No, nope, not a chance.
Also, NBC. that's not surprising. Also, NBC's September schedule is kind of strange. So they're taking this approach. Obviously, they got the new contract where they're going to have the spotlight night game, which ABC has traditionally had. ESPN, and, that's a big window for NBC to kind of jump into, and it's going to be Big Ten games. And so you're kind of thinking, okay, they're going to have the greatest of games. Well, they're going to open up with West Virginia and Penn State in week 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Charlotte and Maryland is going to be the next one. Primetime NBC,
Give it to
3-9 Charlotte.
Yep.
Against Maryland.
Yeah, no, let's do it.
Upset watch.
Maybe. Talia Tagovailoa, one of 2 returning quarterbacks in the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah, he's a good
Can
one.
he lead Maryland to a higher than 4th place finish in the Big Ten East? Stay tuned.
That's the goal.
We'll find
We
out.
want third. We want third.
That look, I like Maryland. The Big Ten East is a bear. If
Yes, it is.
you
Well, it
get in
ends
the
at
if you
Maryland.
get in the top 3, that's very impressive. Well, if you get third, not in the top 3, if you
Yeah.
get third, that's very impressive if you're Maryland, because that means you knocked off Penn State.
Or Michigan or Ohio
No,
State.
that means you knocked off Penn State. Don't, Bach.
In all
Don't
likelihood.
don't even try that.
Hey, crazier things have happened in college football. All right, let's take a quick break here on the Ticket Water Cooler. Plenty more college football to talk around the corner. It's going to be as exciting as Rutgers and Northwestern on CBS on a Sunday. Coming up next year on the Ticket Water Cooler.
Integrated Life Choices has been for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to fill lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at .net. Integrated Life Choices.
The Drive with AD and Rath.
Was this season a stepping stone or a stone in the shin?
Want to think that it's a stepping stone, but unfortunately, I think the people that we're going to lose are going to be back in the same situation. I think again next year you're going to have to find a few hitters. And you're going to find some pitching. So unfortunately, I think it's not a stepping stone.
You have to replace your first baseman, your second baseman, your shortstop, your center fielder, your Friday night starting pitcher, your Saturday night starting pitcher, 3 quality relievers, your backup third baseman, backup catcher, and backup infielder.
Weekdays from 8 to 10 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we are celebrating a record sales month in April, and we're going to let it roll and crank up in the month of May. We have some big discounts and special interest rates going on this month on selected new in-stock Sierras and Silverados. Buy a new Silverado or Sierra, get $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. You heard right, $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. We have outstanding specials on all of our new and pre-owned GM certified units. So stop on in and see us or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. New discount must trade in and finance with the roof credit.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere sprayer from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See & Spray to target weeds in season, in corn and soybeans, and use less herbicide per acre. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
If you struggle with joint pain, there's good news. You don't need surgery to get back to full health. South Point Medical and Aesthetics offers breakthrough non-surgical options for treatment of moderate to severe joint pain. Our patients experience little to no downtime from our procedures, and the results are remarkable. They've had 14 years of successful treatments with patients from 35 states because of an effective word-of-mouth traffic. Learn more about how you can get lasting results for joint pain today at southpointmedical.com or call 402-323-8400.
Allo is here to give you the FYI. Are your shows buffering? We know why. Are your games lagging? Don't deny. Are your work calls dropping? Here's the FYI. Your old school internet company can't keep up. They give it a try. Their network isn't enough. Don't get trapped in their gimmicks and lies. It's time to fiber your internet with Allo. Honest, local, and hassle-free is what we stand by. Experience Allo Internet. Visit allofiber.com/FYI.
Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit, and you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour, an opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. Brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You were so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
Babe, pack your bags. We're going to Vegas.
Vegas?
We just got the estimate from the wedding caterer, and we're going to have to elope.
Actually, Members Owned Credit Union is offering no-fee home equity lines of credit. We can borrow what we need with equity from the house.
Wait, so we can keep the bacon-wrapped dates for the cocktail hour?
We can keep the bacon-wrapped dates. From wedding bells to trekking the globe and everything in between, capture your dreams your way with a no-fee Members Owned Credit Union home equity line of credit. Learn more at membersownedheloc.org. Limitations may apply. Equal housing lender.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We'll see a slight chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. It will be another very warm day as we'll top out at 89. South winds at 10 to 15. A slight chance of thunderstorms tonight with a low down to 65. We will continue with a slight chance of thunderstorms tomorrow and stay warm with a high of 88. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the Ticket Water Cooler talking scheduling and timing announcements, as that was announced earlier today. We're getting some news on Nebraska in some of their games here, and so go ahead and repeat it because somebody on the text line is frustrated because we've said a lot of stuff, and it's kind of probably hard to figure out what we're going to say. I'm just going to keep talking until I don't tell him what time it is on. But no,
yeah, Nebraska's going to play a game, but I don't remember the time or the channel. So
Nebraska, Iowa, Black Friday, the way it's supposed to be on a 3-letter network, CBS, 11 a.m. Central Time. So it'll be a good time slot for Nebraska, Iowa. National eyes on that game. Also, national eyes on the Nebraska-Illinois game, 7 o'clock on FS1. Of course, we know that one is on a Friday, so October 6th. We already knew that. Maybe you didn't, and it's new to you. But yes, Nebraska's going to. Those are the Friday game times and TV networks that will broadcast Nebraska games this year. It's nice to get those rolling out here. Lots more to talk about as scheduling. In the scheduling realm, I should say, the SEC is having their spring meetings. Which does the Big Ten have spring meetings, and why does nothing ever come of it?
Do they have spring meetings? I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. It doesn't. It seems kind of late. It's kind of weird to have spring meetings right when summer starts, and then you're going to have, your own conference.
It's still
media
spring.
Day.
It's still spring down south. It hasn't hit triple digits yet.
I suppose so.
I don't know if that's true. I'm not from the down south.
You're not from.
I couldn't tell you.
You just made.
I'm just making jokes. I apologize. It was unnecessary.
But the SEC is having their spring meetings, or they might have wrapped up by now, but it was a big conversation the last couple of days, particularly about the scheduling moving forward in the SEC. And don't worry if you think I'm just the SEC homer, we'll wrap this into the Big Ten as well. But Georgia's head coach Kirby Smart called it the most overrated conversation in the world. Apparently, some of the coaches are just kind of tired of talking about it. But it matters more, I think, to the fans because the SEC is now down to 2 options as far as what their scheduling is going to be when they inherit Texas and Oklahoma and have a 16-team league. The options are sticking with an 8-game slate, which pretty much angers the rest of the nation who has moved on to 9-game conference football.
Just be a big boy already. Be some big boys already and switch to a 9-conference game slate. All right? Stop being scared. Stop saying, "Oh, well, we're the SEC
It's
and
just
week
tougher to get through
in
the
and week
SEC
out. It just matters, and we're beating up on each other." Play 9 games. Everybody else is playing 9 games. If you're so good, if you're so much better than everybody else, you should be able to play that 9th game and not have a problem with it.
Yeah,
it shouldn't hurt you, Alabama, Georgia. You should be okay. Stop being scared.
Well, and I think part of it too is the teams that they play as well on in the non-con, like some of the teams anyways. Georgia's got the permanent crossover with Georgia Tech, so you're playing 9 Power 5 opponents before you schedule, and sometimes they schedule a big non-conference matchup with Clemson or something. Then you're already at 10. So I think that's kind of what's kind of held some teams back there in the SEC. Of course, Florida, another example, have Florida State. South Carolina has Clemson.
Let's see this Georgia schedule. All right.
This Georgia schedule this year is
exactly.
not
Come
very
on. Let's see
difficult
this Georgia SEC schedule. South Carolina, Auburn, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Florida, Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee.
What's the rest of their schedule?
Their non-conference, UT Martin, Ball State, UAB,
and Georgia Tech.
And Georgia Tech at the end of the season. You know who else you could throw in there just for poops and giggles? You could throw Texas A&M in there. Or Mississippi State if you don't want to play Alabama or LSU. You could throw Arkansas if you want to. There are other teams that you can play in the SEC that aren't Alabama since you're so scared.
It's a grind, Rico. It's a grind.
It's not a grind. It's not a grind. You want to see Alabama's schedule?
Yeah.
Middle Tennessee, Texas, South Florida.
Hey, Texas, that's a big game.
But it's home against Texas, so calm down. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Tennessee, LSU, Kentucky, Chattanooga, Auburn.
That's
you know what?
Solid schedule.
You know what you could do? Throw Vanderbilt in there. Throw in South Carolina. Throw in Missouri. Come on. What are we doing? Throw in Eli Drinkowitz, whose brother-in-law gets paid less than some of the players, even though he saves lives.
I believe it's just Drinkwitz, although
I'm going to keep saying Drinkowitz.
I think everybody does. I think I did at the beginning because that sounds better. So we'll say
Drinkwitz. Not as cool.
Doesn't even sound right. Doesn't flow very well.
Travis and Lincoln asked a question.
What's the question?
What does Nebraska go this year with Georgia's schedule?
We'll go through that schedule.
Okay.
Real quick.
Okay.
We'll just go through right now.
All right. UT Martin win. Ball State win. See, the problem is the SEC teams are better than Nebraska. So there is that. They beat UAB. So there's 3 wins. You're non-con. You win all 3. I think you beat Georgia Tech. So there's 4.
Jeff Sims, what a battle.
Yeah,
What a battle
that'd be interesting. I don't know how good the SEC teams are. Let's say you beat Vanderbilt, you beat Missouri, you beat them out for the quarterback, you beat them on the field as well. You're losing to Auburn and Kentucky and Florida and Ole Miss and Tennessee, though.
Tennessee for sure.
So you get 5 wins with Georgia's schedule if you're Nebraska. Georgia wins all of those handily.
Well, the thing
if any of Georgia's games this year outside of Tennessee and Florida are within 2 touchdowns, I don't think they should play for the national championship, even if they're undefeated.
Well, keep in mind, too, Florida was not very good. You think about the name, you're thinking, okay, yeah, they were very good in their year 1.
Yeah, but they got Graham Mertz.
They did get Graham Mertz, and I don't feel like that's
so they're going to be better. He's a former 5-star, I think.
I think he was. Yeah, I don't know. But I just don't know if that's going to help too much. Florida, they're even. Their coach was even like kind of doing the year 2 thing that Scott Frost is doing. It's kind of like, when we're good, we'll be good, but give us time to have a situation.
One of those things.
It's weird because Florida fires their coaches after winning the SEC East if they don't win the title game. So we'll see how much patience.
Might have been a mistake.
Yeah.
They went 6-7 last year.
Yeah. But to add on to that, that makes it not as difficult of a schedule for Georgia. Nebraska's schedule, by the way, though, if you're going, that schedule's too, Nebraska's schedule is crazy easy. And I mean, there's some. I mean, the Big Ten West is always the grind, right? You know, I mean, I'm the first to love the Big Ten West, but they literally have 2, 3, and 9 out of conference opponents, a 2, 1-11 Power 5 opponents.
Yeah,
they should be able to at least get 4 wins there. I'm not saying they will. I'm saying they should. So we'll kind of see where that goes moving forward. But the debate again for the SEC right now is an 8-game slate so right now they have an 8-game slate and they protect 2 rivals. If with 16 teams, they would have an 8-game slate and only protect 1 rival, which would be a problem because there's certain teams fighting for different rivals there. Like when Texas joins, Texas A&M wants that rivalry back. But then you can't have Oklahoma and Texas not happen every year.
So both teams have to agree to the rivalry?
Both teams would have to agree to the rivalry, but there would be only room for 1 protected rival.
That was my question. If Texas A&M wants Texas, they could do that, but then Texas wants Oklahoma. I'm sure Oklahoma wants Texas. They don't have rivalries with anybody else.
If you give Texas A&M, then Oklahoma's going to be stuck there, maybe with Arkansas or something. But Arkansas
also has a rivalry with Texas,
right? So
for people that forget, back when they were in the
SWAC,
yeah.
So that's kind of something they got to figure out. And if they stick to that 8-game schedule, think of that as something that, some of the rivalries are going to be lost there, at least per year. They're going to obviously be playing each other every other year.
You can't have Texas and Oklahoma not play one year.
Right. I think that's almost blasphemy. But that would have been the Nebraska-Oklahoma rivalry back in the day.
You know what would solve this? 9-game schedule.
A 9-game schedule does solve it, because then you would the other option. So one option is 8-game 1 protected rival, or 9-game 3 protected rivalries.
Problem solved.
The frustration there is that the 3 protected rivalries don't seem to be even. Nick Saban's not happy with his draw, what that would be compared to some of the other teams.
Well, sorry, you're good. you get good teams, because when you're good, the teams that are your rivals want to be good and work on being good, and they just happen to have gotten good and now can mess with you. So I'm sorry, but also if you're Nick Saban and you're Alabama, why are you're better than everyone else? Why are you worried about that?
Well, because you don't want to change too much of what's been working for you.
Oh yeah, scheduling Chattanooga the second to last game of the season. You're right.
That helps. If they have a 9-game conference schedule, I hope they still do that just for fun, just to keep bothering people. But I think that's interesting. But with the way that it has worked too, and Nebraska's kind of been involved in this for the longest time. Nebraska and Indiana just didn't meet up on the field. Can you believe this? Texas A&M has played Georgia just once since joining the SEC in 2012, 11 years ago. The Aggies are still awaiting a return visit to College Station by the Bulldogs.
I mean, I guess that's one way to. I would say that's one way to make yourself look better, but Texas A&M hasn't looked that good.
No, that
Georgia
doesn't help too much.
Honestly, do they want Georgia back? I don't think they do now. At this point, I don't think you would.
Yeah, but it's very strange that's kind of how it worked.
Well, it's like since Nebraska joined the conference, who is it? That's
Indiana. They didn't play Indiana for the longest time.
But like they joined the conference, and Iowa just decided, hey, you know what? Since you're here, we don't want to face Ohio State anymore, so you can have them.
Yeah. And Iowa's just drawn a great schedule since Nebraska joined the Big Ten. It's been
crazy.
Been kind of strange.
How hard do you think their schedule is next year now that Gary Bart is gone?
That is interesting. Maybe that's been a big factor. Yeah, that's a good question.
Remember this day, ladies and gentlemen.
Iowa will have to play everybody. And, of course, they're going to take away the division.
May 31st at 12:48. I decree that Iowa's schedule next season will be much harder.
We'll get more difficult.
Because Gary Barta is no longer the AD.
Now, a reminder here for those in the Big Ten. The Big Ten is down to 3 models, which is basically protect 3 rivalries, protect 2 rivalries, or a flex where not every team has to protect the same amount of rivalries, where you could have 1, 2, or 3.
I feel like you should just go with the flex, because there are teams. Yeah. There are teams with more rivals and teams with less rivals. Like, no matter what you say about Nebraska, like they have 1, and it's Iowa. Like the Wisconsin rivalry isn't much of a rivalry because you haven't been winning. And I guess that you could salvage that rivalry just by winning some more games. But aside from those two, Minnesota's not a rivalry. It's just that people don't like PJ Fleck.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun thing, but it's not like a hated rivalry.
And you could try and say, Michigan's a rival, but it's not, because Michigan has like 12 other rivals.
Yeah,
and they don't really care about.
They
Nebraska.
Wouldn't consider Nebraska
outside of just the whole, I don't know how many people are joking, but I consider it the joke of like the 1997 split national championship. Like, all right, whoever wins this one gets to claim it for the next year. Like, outside of that, I don't think Michigan cares.
The bus and bowl didn't help out too much.
I don't think that's doing much. Really, I
anything.
really don't.
Yeah, it didn't seem to. I do understand. I do wonder though, moving forward too, because if they do this, if they don't do the flex, then they're going to have to protect 2 or 3 or whatever with USC and UCLA, who also are new to the new to the conference, don't necessarily have more than one. Would Nebraska be a protected rival with one of those schools, and would you embrace it? I would,
yes,
because Nebraska's a great traveling fan base. It's like Nebraska goes Hollywood every other year, and
tell me you guys wouldn't love it.
And for one, it's a great trip. The other thing is those fans aren't there half the time. We could literally buy the Rose Bowl because UCLA fans don't show up if they're not any good.
Sell out the Rose Bowl for a regular season game? Don't think that's ever happened. Actually, I don't know. I could be wrong.
Not in recent years. It's gotten bad for UCLA.
So Nebraska gets Iowa, USC, and UCLA. How that's very different. Just very
Love
different.
It. Yeah, very clash of styles.
Cornfields in Hollywood.
That's right. Dedicated fan bases in not
and Hollywood.
in Hollywood. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll probably talk more scheduling since it's pretty fun. But we'll also have Nick Sater jump in, ready for the crossover and happy hour, which is coming up next after this show. So that's what we're doing coming up next year on the Ticket Water Cooler, 93.7 The Ticket.
Nebraska's favorite vape shop,
Generation V,
providing friendly, personalized service and the selection of liquid flavors. In this Generation will be or many others. Great service and prices. There is your one-stop shop for all your vaping needs.
Generation V.
With 4 Lincoln locations. Visit us on the web at generationv.com. E-cigs contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
It's May, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride. Summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Spring is here and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is hiring. They are looking for a garage door installation and service technician with a clean driving record. Experience is not required as they will train for the positions. However, mechanical aptitude is required. If you want to come be a part of a small business where your family, not just an employee, call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today to apply at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840. Steve's Garage Doors and Services.
From the first pitch of a late-night Little League game to the sweet taste of frozen treats, LES powers all of life's special moments for only $2.88 a day. Learn more at les.com/value.
Hi, this is Becky from Midwest Bank, and our team is here for you. From our friendly staff to our innovative products to our online banking and mobile app, all of our services are designed with you in mind. We'll help you open a checking account, apply for a loan, open a credit card, or start saving for the future. We do it all. We're your local community bank, a trusted partner that's here to serve you. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Back to the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here on the Ticket Water Cooler, thanks for joining us for our final segment. We're going to have the crossover here with Nick Sander. We'll be jumping on the mic here in a minute to preview Happy Hour. I did want to finish here by talking about a little bit of conference realignment that may be taking place once again. Colorado has had face-to-face discussions. It's gone that far with the Big 12, thinking about returning to the Big 12. Their athletic director, Rick George, has said, we evaluate things as we move forward. So it's kind of interesting. One of the significant portions of this story that is interesting, too, is basically that Colorado is going to have Dion sign off. Whatever they decide to do, they're going to want Dion to be on board with it. And he apparently wants to get Colorado back into Texas. So, of course, that would be along with the Big 12 move there. The Big 12 it's expected now to have expansion talks this week at their spring meetings in West Virginia. We mentioned spring meetings. How about spring meetings in West Virginia? That sounds like a good place for
that. Is
spring
exactly
meetings.
Where I want to be in the spring.
The old home of Graham Harrell.
Shout out to
who I've been doing a deep dive on.
You've
West
been doing
Virginia.
some Graham Harrell look.
We've had this discussion up here in Nebraska. You don't have to be in the Big 12 to get into Texas. You just have to be better.
You just have to be in Texas. Hire Matt Rule.
You just have to be better and then get into Texas. But how many athletic directors?
I would like it too.
How many athletic directors, athletic departments are going to the head coach of the football team to determine whether or not they're going to move conferences that will affect every single other sport?
Well, I think, let's be honest, here in Nebraska, if Nebraska wanted to move conferences, let's say Nebraska had a unique opportunity to join the SEC, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't sit here and tell me that they want to talk to Matt Rule.
Did they meet with Bo Pelini before they moved to the Big Ten?
Bo Pelini was not happy
Did
about
he
that
have
move.
to sign off?
Well,
That's the thing.
he wouldn't have to sign off. But
Meeting with the coaches, that's fine. Obviously, you're going to meet with the coaches. Like, hey, we're planning on doing this. How will this affect you? Blah blah. Do all that. But you're not going to the football coach and just saying like, hey, before we do this, we need you.
Think about
to say that it's okay.
Think about Nebraska not going to the Big Ten in this case because we don't know what Dion will be. But in this case, worst case scenario, like Nebraska not going to the Big Ten because Scott Frost didn't want to. Like if it turned out to be that bad, and in hindsight, you're looking back and you're like, oh boy.
Well, don't forget, Nebraska had their own little, on a smaller scale situation of this. They didn't want to play Oklahoma.
Yep.
And it was like, okay, wait a minute.
Hold on.
This isn't going to happen. We're not just going to play Oklahoma.
What are we doing? Like,
So-
we don't want to.
Gosh dang. I have the
Thanks for putting that back into my brain. I forgot about that.
Well, all the feelings are coming up right now.
Yeah,
because
you're watching.
we're-
You're watching some old clips.
We were watching in the other room in the office. We were watching Troy versus Nebraska.
Yeah,
and that was the Andrew Bunch game.
Yeah,
we were watching Bethune-Cookman against Nebraska, Northern Illinois. What channel?
How did Bethune-Cookman get in there?
Just guys.
It was just
the Nebraska Northern Illinois game. What channel?
Fox Business.
Nice.
Oh,
Started on
I remember.
Fox Business.
Because it took me forever to find out how to get Fox Business.
It started on the Fox Business channel.
And it had the little gold logo
Yes.
in like the top
Yes.
right corner. It
I
just
was like,
said
wait,
Fox Business.
Am I watching the news or what?
How many Nebraska
this
Northern
is
Illinois
weird.
games have there been? Because they seem to be a common opponent now lately.
Well, I mean, Nebraska. Thankfully, Nebraska never played him when Jordan Lynch was the quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been fun. Because that's when
Um,
Nebraska was pretty.
Yeah,
good too,
Jordan Lynch.
Jordan
was-
Lynch should have won the
was
Heisman.
Fun.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would say Heisman.
Jordan
Rico.
Lynch should have won the Heisman.
You say
Look at his
these
stats.
outlandish takes.
Look at Jordan's stats.
Should we look at Jordan Lynch's stats
from his
right now?
from his. I think he was a Heisman. Maybe not well, he was a finalist, but he wasn't like a New York finalist.
So he wasn't a finalist.
So
He was like top 5. He
So-
finished. I think he finished top 5
Jordan Lynch stats
from his best year.
Okay. His best year would be 2012, his junior season.
Yep.
He definitely not a Heisman finalist.
Should've won the
caliber. He threw for 3,100 yards and 25 touchdowns with 6 interceptions. Not bad.
What's his ground game though? I mean,
Yeah,
that
he was a
big
he
part
was a
of it,
rushing
was
quarterback.
yeah.
1,800 yards
Oof,
with 19 touchdowns.
Come on,
that's a lot.
come on.
Okay,
That's a
so
lot
now,
of
so now
yards.
we're going to do
That's
this.
what 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay. So 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns.
Against
go
the
with that.
MAC. Against
Let's
the MAC.
go.
Justin
Let's
Matt,
go.
shut up.
Caleb Williams stats.
No, no, go to the other 2012. We're not doing this. Why are you doing Caleb Williams? The game changes.
Okay. So that's
Okay,
fine.
go
Let's-
ahead. Hey, go back to
let me talk.
2001.
Easy, Rico. We will.
You're gonna just change things up on me. What are you
okay,
doing?
so in that conversation, because I agree with you that it's unfair. We'll go back to 2012 here in a second.
Ridiculous.
But look at how much the game's changed. Caleb Williams, 4,500 passing yards and 42 touchdowns.
Yeah, well, look at his rushing
His
stats.
rushing stats, 382 yards with 10 touchdowns.
Garbage.
52 total touchdowns.
That's a lot of QB sneaks, is what that was.
That's fine. It's a touchdown.
Garbage.
Okay, so hold on.
My man had 1,800 rushing yards.
Who won in 2012? Manziel?
It was no, it would have been
Was that
yeah,
Ingram?
It would have been Manziel because the finalists were Colin Klein, Manti Te'o, and Johnny Manziel. Those were the 3 guys in New York.
Yeah,
Great-
Jordan
great
Lynch.
group,
Jordan
great
Lynch
Because
should've won
that was Colin Klein.
That's a terrible
Colin
group.
Klein was awesome. Yeah, right. Dude,
Colin Klein was
It's
awesome.
a
Colin
terrible
Klein was
group.
sick.
Jordan Lynch wasn't there.
Jordan
I'm
Lynch.
kidding. That is a great group.
Manti Te'o's girlfriend was sitting next right there.
Hey, that's not funny. That's not funny. The documentary is out. That's
sorry.
not funny.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
No, it's kind of that's
is-
so funny.
That is not funny.
That's so funny.
No. Johnny Manziel threw for so you want to compare passing yards and stuff. Okay, so Johnny Manziel, because Johnny Manziel ran as well. Johnny Manziel threw for 3,700 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. He ran for 1,400 yards and 21 touchdowns in that season. Wasn't that the year that they beat Alabama?
Yeah,
too?
that was the big wins.
Manti Te'o had 55 solo tackles that year, 7 interceptions. Colin Klein threw for 2,600 yards and 16 touchdowns, but he was a running quarterback as well.
Mhm.
He ran for
You were looking at the wrong year for Jordan Lynch, by the way.
2012.
2013, he was a Heisman finalist. He finished third.
He did finish third? Okay.
Because his passing yards, he had 2,892 and 24 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, which is worse than the year previous. But his rushing stats, 1,920 and 23 touchdowns. He also had 1 reception for 17 yards and a touchdown.
That is insane.
As a quarterback.
Okay, so my apologies on that one. Here you go, guys. Who finished 4th in the 2012 Heisman voting? A wide receiver from USC. He got drafted, I want to say, by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh,
He finished the season with 118 catches, 1,721 yards, and 14 receiving
I know who it
touchdowns.
is.
He finished at one spot ahead of Braxton Miller, 2 spots ahead of Jadeveon Clowney, 3 spots ahead of Jordan Lynch, then Tavon Austin, Kenyon Barner, and Jarvis Jones.
I can see
Jarvis
him right
Jones.
now. I cannot think of his name though.
Any guesses?
You're gonna
Bach?
say it, and I'm gonna hit
Yeah,
myself.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna hate myself.
Yeah.
Marquise Lee.
There it
Marquise
is.
Lee.
There it
That's a
is.
good name.
Marquise Lee finishes 4th in the 2012 Heisman Trophy voting.
All right. It's
Jordan
always,
Lynch did finish 3rd, 1 spot behind AJ McCarron.
yeah,
James
one
Winston
spot
won.
ahead of Andre Williams. Good year.
Yes.
All right, that'll wrap it up for the Ticket Water Cooler Happy Hour. Coming up next.
The Nebraska Lottery presents one beautiful, crazy scratch ticket and promotion. It's the $5 Living Love $50,000 non-winning Luke Nashville, a private concert with Ring and a chance at $500,000. The Living Lucky with Luke Combs concert experience will hit you like a hurricane. Details at nelottery.com. Living Lucky with Luke Combs scratch ticket top prize odds 1 in 128,000.
If you struggle with joint pain, there's good news. You don't need surgery to get back to full health. South Point Medical and Aesthetics offers breakthrough non-surgical options for treatment of moderate to severe joint pain. Our patients experience little to no downtime from our procedures, and the results are remarkable. They've had 14 years of successful treatments with patients from 35 states because of an effective word-of-mouth traffic. Learn more about how you can get lasting results for joint pain today at southpointmedical.com or call 402-323-8400. Attention all Wings fans! 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Hi, I'm Barb Bettine, President and CEO of the Lincoln YMCA. On behalf of the Y, I want to thank you for voting us Lincoln's Choice for Best Youth Sports Programs, Best Youth Activity Programs, and Best Preschool. These categories represent so much of what we do at the Y, and we're honored to serve thousands of families in our community each and every day. Hey, with summer just around the corner, I invite you to stop in to one of our 4 branches and learn how the Y can be a part of your family. The Y Outdoor Pools open May 27th, and we can't wait to see you.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Allo is here to give you the FYI. Are your shows buffering? We know why. Are your games lagging? Don't deny. Your work calls dropping? Here's the FYI. Your old school internet company can't keep up. They give it a try. Their network isn't enough. Don't get trapped in their gimmicks and lies. It's time to fiber your internet with Allo. Honest, local, and hassle-free is what we stand by. Experience Allo Internet. Visit allofiber.com/FYI.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
The Drive with AD and Raf.
Was this season a stepping stone or a stone in the shin?
Want to think that it's a stepping stone, but unfortunately, I think the people that we're going to lose are going to be back in the same situation. I think again next year you're going to have to find a few hitters and you're going to find some pitching. So unfortunately, I think it's not a stepping stone.
You have to replace your first baseman, your second baseman,